Okay, first of all, how does she get internet clear out here? That's what I want to know. Oh, right, I do need to gather cards. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, there's a cut on her,
There's a cut on the bottom of her left foot. There's dirt in the area she was bleeding from. This means that...
This is the only answer that makes sense.
Yes, she was walking after she was injured. Even more, she was walking in dirt. It must have been very difficult for her to walk at all with this wound. This is an indication of having been shot with a gun. The bullet has completely passed through the body. The entrance GSW is where the bullet enters the body. Conversely, the exit GSW is where the bullet exits the body. Normally, the exit wound is larger than the entrance wound. Keeping that in mind, which one is this wound? If it's hard to tell, I could always just compare it to the wound on the opposite side.
Okay, so that was the exit wound.
Gunshots leave distinctive wounds in the human body. It seems the bullet passed all the way through her body. The entrance wound is created where the bullet enters the body, and the exit wound is where the bullet exits the body. The entrance GSW should be much smaller than the exit GSW. With that in mind...
Well, that actually makes sense, because the bullet has to push, the bullet has to push the skin aside.
That's right. This is the entrance wound. Normally, keeping that in mind... That's right. This one would be the exit GSW.
Okay, now what else is there? Another gunshot? Wow.
It's a bullet wound. Does that mean Rosalia was shot? It looks as if the bullet passed all the way through her body. The entrance GSW is where the bullet enters the body. Conversely, the exit GSW is where the bullet exits the body. Normally, the exit wound is larger than the entrance wound. Keeping that in mind, which one is this?
You can
one?
also see the depression
I could always just compare it to the wound
that the bullet made in the skin when it passed, when it started to pass through the body, just from, you know, the force of the impact.
That's right. This one would be the entrance GSW.
So there should be another... What the hell is all this blood?
Hypostasis is present in the corpse's back. If I send this in for analysis, we might figure out the position she was in when she died. This is a gunshot wound. The bullet passed through the body. The entrance GSW is where the bullet enters the body. Conversely, the exit GSW is where the bullet exits the body. Normally, the exit wound is larger than the entrance wound. Which one is this? Comparing the two wounds will help me determine which one this is.
Oh, I think I know why she has to repeat this, because...
Yes, this would be the exit GSW.
Because you could find these gunshot wounds in any... There's another one on her hand? So she was shot here, too?
This is severe. Something's gone completely through the right palm. I can see fine black particles around the wound as well. Judging by the general condition of the body, this wound is...
It's a gunshot wound.
Yes, this is a gunshot wound. But what could these black particles be? Still, someone shot at her hand? Why would that happen?
What about her effects, though?
This hole corresponds to the wound on her thigh, so whatever injured her there created this as well.
Okay.
This hole, it matches the wound on Rosalia's chest. It's likely that this was caused by the same thing that created the wound.
So, she was shot there, and in the hand.
Could this blood have come from the chest wound? There's something odd about it, though.
Right, a gunshot wound should be clean. There shouldn't be blood like that.
Yes. If it was hemorrhaging from the chest, it would only be coming from one area. If it's spattered around this much, it means there's another reason for this hemorrhaging.
Alright. We got a lot of information. A lot of cards. Okay.
The back of the thigh is the entrance wound, and the front is the exit. If that's the case, the victim was shot.
Oh?
How could I do that?
Okay, I'm just being derpy.
Yes. The shooter was behind the victim when she was shot.
I guess I just misread it.
The entrance and exit wounds tell us what happens when someone has been shot. In this case, the victim was shot in the...
I do need to read these carefully.
Yes. The bullet entered through the chest, creating the entrance GSW. It then passed through her body and out her back, creating the exit GSW. This proves that she had been shot from the front. In any case, the wound in the thigh isn't the same size as the wound in the chest. Could this mean that two different firearms were used? I think contacting Little Guy and asking him to look into this would be my best option here.
There should be some more cards that combine, though. Or not.
Little Guy, could you analyze this hypostasis?
Yes, of course. Please send your data over to me.
All right, please look at it right away.
Okay, I've got it. Let's see here. Well, the hypostasis matches the position Rosalia's body was in when she was discovered.
Hypostasis occurs when the blood flow throughout the body has stopped. The blood settles within the corpse, pooling in the areas closest to the ground. Thus, Rosalia's corpse was...
Oh, okay.
Yes. If the corpse had been moved, the hypostasis wouldn't match the position we discovered the body in. That place truly is where Rosalia drew her last breath.
Oh, Dr. Kimishima, I have a question.
Hopefully it's something I have an answer for. What is it?
Well, the blue flowers are only growing in that one particular area of the field. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. Rosalia was found in the center of this area of blue flowers.
Well, isn't that too much to be coincidence? It just seems so set up.
I see. What you're trying to say is...
That was a guess.
Yes. Doesn't that make more sense?
may have a point. Hypostasis begins to appear roughly 30 minutes after death. It's possible that her corpse was moved here immediately after she died to create the situation.
If that's the case, why would her killer do such a thing to her?
We're just grasping at straws here. We'll need real evidence and facts in order to solve these mysteries. Hey, little guy, I need you to analyze this gunshot wound.
Yes, ma'am. A gunshot wound to the palm. I see. The bullet entered through the palm and exited through the back of the hand. It seems she was raising her hand towards the gun when it was fired.
Why would she put her hand up like that? A defensive wound is damage taken while trying to protect oneself from harm. She likely put her hands up as an instinctive reaction to having a gun pointed at her.
Even though that wouldn't help. Oh!
Yes. If I think about what happened at the time of the murder, these do have a common link. These fine bloodstains spattering Rosalia's clothing. This hemorrhaging was most likely caused by...
Yeah, that does make sense.
That's right. There was a defensive wound on Rosalia's palm. The killer turned his gun on this girl and pulled the trigger. That bullet tore through the hand she held up, ineffectually trying to ward off the blow. It then continued into her body, piercing her heart. The fine bloodstains were from the blood that came from her hand.
Alright, what now?
Little guy, can you analyze these black particles?
Okay. This is gunshot residue.
Gunshot residue.
When a gun is fired, it launches more than the bullet. Particles of gunpowder are blasted out of the barrel by the force of the explosion as well. When those particles land on the target being shot at, it is known as gunshot residue.
I see. So, since it was on Rosalia, that means...
She had to have been shot from close range, right? Because the gunpowder doesn't, yeah.
Indeed. It would indicate that she was shot
So it's
from
a point-blank
very close
shot.
range. Little guy, analyze this wound.
Understood. This is a penetrating bullet wound from a firearm?
That's right. Rosalia was shot.
The bullet entered her chest and went through her heart. I don't think there was any doubt that this was a fatal wound.
So that was the shot that killed her.
I see. The question now is who pulled the trigger. The events of Rosalia's death are becoming clear. First, the cause of death. The wound that killed Rosalia
The
was...
chest wound. I love Atlas's gag
The bullet that
answers.
went through her chest struck her heart, ending her life. Now, what direction did that fatal shot come from? Indeed, the entrance and exit wounds tell us the path of the bullet through her body. Rosalia was alive just before this shot as well. The evidence for this is... Yes, the wound on her palm is a defensive one, caused by her trying to protect herself from the gunshot. Her right hand also has another piece of important evidence. That is... Indeed, the gunshot residue from the shot that killed her. Gunshot residue was left behind when... Yes, Gunshot residue is found on targets that have been shot at close range. We can tell that Rosalia had been shot in the chest from a short distance away. What would drive someone to be so determined to kill Rosalia?
Wow, that was a lot of cards that combined. Okay, so I guess there is a little bit more. Why is that not voiced? Do we have to check out the crime scene? I guess we do, but I don't have time to do that right now because I think this episode's running a bit long. Next time on Let's Play Trauma Team, we'll head to the building that was near Rosalia's place of death.